We not done yet. We not done yet. We not done. Kicks wheel. She, are we cooking or what? Did Shot by Buddha call it or what? Gary, what up? All right, man. Y'all know me. Y'all know I hate to toot my own horn. But how many times I gotta tell y'all? I got the crystal ball. All these so-called know-it-alls out here, they're gonna tell y'all they know everything. I never claimed to know anything. But you know what I did say? I thought we was gonna get Deshaun Wright and Josh Williams. I thought we was gonna get Deshaun Wright and Josh Williams. But Mike Berganza said, hold my beer. He said, Buddha, not only did we trade for Jermaine Johnson, not only is Femi coming back, not only did you tell all them people in their viral reel that it was going to be John Franklin Myers next to Jeffrey Simmons, I thought that Alante Taylor would be too rich for our blood, but I was wrong. And then here comes Josh Williams. People didn't even know who Josh Williams was. And I said, wait, I'm in the Titans group chat. He's 6'3", 200 pounds. He lost his job to Jalen Watson and McDuffie. He's better than everything we had last year. You can slow play L'Jarius Sneed. He's better than everything we had last year. Why does Kick keep making my stream double my volume? Kick, I'm not trying to double my volume. Please. All right. Then we snuck around and got Cordell Fly. Now, I'll be honest. I didn't have Cordell Fly on my board, but he's 6'2", and he can play the nickel. Alante can play outside and play the nickel. What is this telling you? This is telling you that they want guys that can play outside and inside. And when somebody go in motion, you can have a communication. And Cordell Fly can play outside and Taylor can go in the slot. Then you got Marcus Harris and right now L'Jarius Sneed. And I have to argue with people that say, why would you want Darrell Baker Jr. back? Well, you know people are going to get injured. Why wouldn't you want the person that was cornerback 1 for the second half of the season in Baker Jr.? Why wouldn't you want him as cornerback 5 or 6? He's going to be a special teamer, and then if he has to step in, you know he can start. It's a big difference between Darrell Baker Jr. They passing on his $3.5 million tender and picking him back up for league minimum at $1.5 million and having a guy like Baker Jr. that can play if you need him, and he's going to be playing special teams. Like, the overall 53 have to be better. People got to get out of their mind the bias of, yes, Darrell Baker Jr. is not cornerback 1, but he can definitely be cornerback 5 or 6 for less than $2 million. Good cheap depth, Joe Blacko. Nothing more, nothing less. And I had people that was like, yo, who is this Josh Williams guy? He's only playing behind Jalen Watson and McDuffie. I mean, half the NFL would be playing behind Watson and McDuffie. And he got injured. You know, so like he come back off injury, 6'3", 200 pounds, big rangy cornerback. You want length and you want size. And this is where the Berganzi ties come in at, finding some of the gems like that. This is where Dabo's ties come in, getting some of the giants. This is where having White Cotton and Robert Saleh get some of these defensive players that come that otherwise wouldn't have came to Nashville. I mean, Berganzi had to be in the string. Keith, what are we doing when we got 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", 6'2" at corner? What team is this? Alante is a dog. Some solid depth, Christian, and that's all we wanted. And Shot by Buddha been telling you, not one player can make any room better. but a total 53 being better can make a better team. I love the moves, Angelo. What do you think? Yeah, I just seen Devin Lloyd just sign with the Panthers. Steelers got Rico Dowdle. That was huge. WJ Moore, what up? Big Jeff in the building. Cowboys made some moves today. Yeah, Bergonzi definitely knows what Josh Williams is. 2 times, all 3 of your linebackers gone. Well, next time tap in and say, Buddha, hey man, who are we gonna pick? Look in the crystal ball, and I'll tell you, because if you go back and look at my last prediction in free agency, the last 5 minutes of the stream, I literally ran it all down where I said they're gonna get some veteran guards and they're gonna run it back with interior offensive line in a rotation. I still think that Corey Levin should be back. Now, if you have Slotman and Levin and Jackson Slater, and then you have Volson and Dillinger to be like rotational interior linemen, and you bring back Udo and Crenshaw Dixon, I feel really good about the overall depth of the offensive line. Because they were saying they was prioritizing Zietler and Chig Okonkwo, but that clearly was a smokescreen because they went instantly and got Bellinger, and they got Slotman and Volson to go with Jackson Slater and Dillinger. I think they still should bring Corey Levin back in this mix, and then I'll sleep like a baby at the depth on the interior offensive line. Jalen Thompson was big. Love or Arvell Reese, best player available. And listen, this is what my whole pitch was. If you make the overall 2 deep in the 53-man roster better in free agency, you do not have to be held to the fire picking need in the draft. We're back to where we're going to have 9 picks. They picked up Mitch Trubisky. We are going to get a draft pick for Will Levis. And looking at the quarterback market, I need to hear from them people that told me that Will Levis was going to be on the Titans and we wasn't going to get much trade value for him. If Daniel Jones can get 50, can demand 50 million, if Malik Willis can get 20 million, if Tua can force a team to eat $99 million of dead cap space, I promise you the Tennessee Titans can get a day 3 pick at the top of day 3 for Will Levis. Now, if we talking about dice roll, if they trade Will Levis for Marvin Harrison or find some kind of way to finesse that pick to get Brian Thomas, I'll start. I'll get down on my knees, pause, and do the we're not worthy to Bergonzi, bro. I'll do it. They said Parham makes sense because of his versatility, but I mean, think about it. They got Jackson Slater who can play center guard. They got Slotman who can play center and guard. If they bring back Levin who can play center and guard, then you got Volson, Dillinger, and obviously Skoronski starting at left guard. You got a whole myriad of guys that can play center and guard, and you just let them compete. That way, if you in a situation like last year where Cushenberry goes down, you feel good about whoever steps in. Think about this Eagles Super Bowl run where they centers was getting hurt and they was rotating guys in and it didn't matter. He said, so Love at pick 4 or defensive end. I've been saying I want Jeremiah Love. I've been saying I want Jeremiah Love because I feel like Robert Saleh's defense is going to be rotational pass rushers. So like Trey Hendrickson is still on the board. It's still some guys that's edge rushers that's on the board. Titans still got $60 million to spend in free agency. They still got plenty of money. I don't feel like they overspent or overpaid for any player like we did in the past. With them having that much money free, if they cut Pollard, Snead, and Ridley, they're going to free up and they're going to go from $60 million back up to $80 to $90 million in cap space. And I just can't be convinced that with 4 swings in the top 100 and 5 day 3 picks. And then you talk about them still being able to have money to go after players that teams can't pay. Starting off, so you can get a visual, starting off with Jermaine Johnson and Femi, Jeff Simmons and Franklin Myers. You got Ravenel and Lynch. You got Jalen Harrell, Truman Jones, and Ali Gay as depth rotational guys. The coach just gave $20 million for Arden Key for 2 years. I honestly felt like the Titans can go find some rotational edge rushers to where they'll be able to send waves of decent edge rushers that can play the run in the pass to where they can keep fresh guys out there, and then add guys like Zion Young or Dennis Sutton. If they can add some guys like that in the draft along with what they got, you can't solve the whole team in one offseason. There were no superstar edges on the Seahawks. There was no superstar edges on the Patriots. They are really good players. And you rotate really good players in. Like Boy Mafe is not Max Crosby or Micah Parsons. But if you have guys like that, like a bunch of team of solid guys where the front is rested and everybody knows their roles and their responsibilities, with Big Jeff and Franklin Myers playing the inside, things is gonna get spicy, dog. Because I can see this. I can see in this defensive setup that they got. Imagine at times when they want to press and they got a 4-man line, and you walk Kevin Winston down in the box, and then you have Fly or Taylor playing the nickel right at the line of scrimmage, and you don't know who's coming. That's what the Seahawks did. When the Seahawks started blitzing their nickel corners, Drake May didn't know what was going on because there's too many people in the box. And with Winston, Hook, Taylor, Fly, Williams, just as it sits right now, they can really run all over the field and cover any position, playing matchup zones. Blacko say, I personally want defensive end. If they are in love with Arvell Reese or Ruben Bain and they get the pick 4 and one of those and their guys on the board, I have no problem with them taking Ruben Bain or Arvell Reese. I really don't. But I just know if we talking best player available, when you looking at where the offense is set up right now with no more moves, Gunnar Helm, Bellinger, DMR, DK, Wandale, Aomana, Ridley, Restrepo, Tajay Spears, Khalil Mullins. If you was to cut Tony Pollard and to cut Calvin Ridley and cut L'Jarius Sneed and take $30 million and go get you one more edge rusher, draft Jeremiah Love and draft another receiver, you can't tell me Jeremiah Love, Wandale in the slot, DK, AO, and whoever they draft in that top 100 pick, whether it's Surratt, whether it's Jacoby Lane, Denzel Boston, Bell, Chris Brazel, Jeremy Bernard, any of them guys I just named, if you put one of those dudes with this rotation of guys on offense, with 2 big 6'5" tight ends that can go dunk, bro, Titans offense schematically will be able to throw. With Cam Ward's ability to throw the ball off platform, will really be able to spice up the offense. That's how I see it. Because there's gonna be one or two things. You was gonna get Alec Pierce for $25 million or less and go get Zachariah Branch in the draft, or you was gonna get Wandale and put him in the slot and go get you a dunker in the draft. Fred Warner might be on the move. Some team will get desperate enough. Yes, they will. Because you got to think, and hear me out. This is your options. With everything that's going on from Tua to Malik Willis and Daniel Jones demanding $50 million a year, the Arizona Cardinals pick at 3 right in front of us. I'm sorry, Becker. They have named that it will be a quarterback competition between Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew for their quarterback 1 this upcoming season. I'm batting my eyes at that. And you mean to tell me if one of those teams like that who looking at the options of I can pick up Geno Smith or Kirk Cousins, or I can pay Will Levis $1.5 million to play quarterback next year and give up a day 3 pick to get Will Levis. I easily give up a 5th round pick to get 4th or 5th round pick to get Will Levis at quarterback and pay him 1.5. Then turning around and giving Kirk Cousins $30 million, or giving Geno Smith $20-30 million, or giving up a 1st round pick for Mac Jones. And it's only a few teams that are in a position to give up a 1st round pick to get Mac Jones, and that's the Jets, because they got 2 1st round picks. Like a team like that could do it. But outside of that, if you don't have the means to trade to try to get Kyler Murray off the Cardinals' hands right now, like you odds on gonna wind up just burning a hole in your pocket for a short-term solution to your problem. I'd much rather roll Will Levis out there and draft somebody in the late rounds and wait on 27 than be stuck paying one of these guys 30. Like Geno Smith's contract is guaranteed $37 million this year. Kyler Murray is gonna get 36 before everything moves. Tua's a $99 million cap hit. You understand the money that's being thrown, that Malik Willis got 20+ million, that teams are going to be spending that kind of money on those tier of quarterback. Who's going to give Daniel Jones $50 million a year with a broken leg and a torn Achilles? KT, some team going to get desperate. Joe Blacko said I would cut Ridley and sign Dobbs. But this the thing. If you gave Wan'Dale $17 million a year, Restrepo, Almonter, and DK are all on rookie contracts. These is 2 4th round picks and an undrafted free agent. Yes, they could go get Dobbs and push down Almonter. But if I'm the Titans and they got pick number 4, 35, 66, 101, and then 5 more day 3 picks, plus they're going to pick up another pick from Will Levis, I truly, if I'm the Titans, is trying to add another young receiver to this core without having to spend money on Dobbs. Now, if we picked up Dobbs for 12-13 million, they got plenty of money to do it. So I'm not against you on that. Because if you think about it, if I wanted to agree with you, Joe Blacko, I would say Dobbs and Wan'Dale Robinson together are the same price as Alec Pierce. Who wouldn't take that? Tristan, tighten up. Cowboys re-sign Sam Williams. That's good for y'all. Hendricks, what up? Sound like the Lions. Alec Pierce got 30 million. Shopping Fred Warner for what reason? Hendricks, I'm telling you what the Niners are doing. The Niners are in a position where they're like, let's dangle the carrot in front of the horse. Hey y'all, if you get desperate, you can get Mac Jones for a 1st. You just seen Max Crosby get 2 1st round picks from the Ravens. Hey y'all, who want to give us 2 1st round picks for Fred Warner? If you the 49ers and you rebuilding anyways, would you not trade Fred Warner for 2 1st round picks and then go draft Sonny Styles? Sometimes you gotta just think about the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got Michael Williams coming back off the injury from last year. What if they say, hey man, who want to give us 2 1st for Nick Bosa? And we finna take them 2 1st like the Chiefs. People is like, Jalen Watson and McDuffie? But you remember when they went to the Super Bowl, they traded Justin Reed and they traded Tariq Hill, and they had 10 picks. In them 10 picks, they got Karlaftis, they got McDuffie, they got Watson, they got Valdez Scantling, Kadarius Toney, Sky Moore. They got like 55 players that offseason, if you remember. And all those young players are the players that right now are the guys that are hitting the free agent market that's getting the bag. So John Tiggs, man, what's good, family? Yeah, they're rolling Gardner Minshew out there. You still think Snead is a midseason trade? And that's why I said, like, the Titans are in the luxury that let's say the Tennessee Titans decide not to add anything else and they just let Ridley sit, right? You could come in the year with Ridley, Wan'Dale Robinson, Chimdike, Aomana, and Restrepo and still draft somebody, right? If you could prove that Ridley was healthy and capable and you ate some of the contract, you might be able to get a draft pick around bye week. But that's a big gamble because he's getting $28 million next year. And to Joe Blacko's point, you could just cut Reed and get the $16 million on June 1st and just sign Dobbs and you save money. You could do that. Or in the case that Sheed is talking about, you could take Snead and leave Snead as Alontae Taylor, Josh Williams, Cordell Flott, Snead, Marcus Harris, Michael Robinson, and whoever you draft, right? If Snead was to prove himself healthy, he was still like is much as high as I am on Josh Williams. L'Jarius Snead, if he's healthy, is still probably cornerback too. And if you could prove that he can stay on the field for the first 7-8 games to the bye, his contract ain't so heavy that a team that needed a veteran corner would take him. But that's a big stretch. But I'm not willing to gamble like that. Man, go ahead and cut Pollard, Ridley, and Snead and give me that 25-30 million and let's go get something right now. Cam and Robinson gonna be window shopping. Levis has never improved though, so it's truly a risk. I don't think it's necessarily that. Last year he didn't play. The 2 years before that is he had a good showing his rookie year coming in playing half a season before his injury, and then his second year was Brian Callahan. It's safe to say Malik Willis is proof of concept that Will Levis under better tutelage has all the physical things that you need to play quarterback. You just wonder if he got it there. So we didn't see enough of Will Levis last year to know. But I will say this. If Malik Willis, if you going by Kurt Warner's breakdown to say Malik Willis has only had 28 meaningful snaps to get $60 million, or you going to trade a first round draft pick for Mac Jones for half a season in San Francisco and a little bit of play in Jacksonville, if you're telling me that you're going to eat $99 million for Tua, or you're going to trade for Davis Mills and give up good draft capital, if you're going to do all that, sight unseen, if you was an offensive coordinator that felt confident in your ability to coach a talented quarterback, as far as height, arm strength, and release, Will Levis has got all that. You could easily say somebody saying, let me just give up a 4th round pick and get Will Levis and we only got to deal with it for a year. If it don't work this year, we can just cut him because he's on the 4th year of his contract. If he plays well and you wind up retaining him, like let's say we traded him to the Cardinals for a 5th round pick, I think Will Levis can outplay Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew in camp. I think you could put him out there, and then if he looked good, he wouldn't be expensive for you to extend at all. He'd be like Justin Fields' contract, 2 years, $14 million a year, or something like that. X wide receiver with some size, that would be Dobbs. Yeah, Dan Jones definitely high. King Cato, what up? Yes, Stevie B. I just like the fact that the Tennessee Titans bottom of their roster is guys that should be on practice squad. This year, from where they got the 53 right now today without adding another piece, without the draft, looks like if you're saying Baker Jr. was cornerback 1, if they brought him back for $1.5 million and he's cornerback 6, the ceiling becomes the floor. Now you got Baker Jr. and the like on special teams. You see what I'm saying? Like, you've been added so much depth that players that were in starting roles will now be your special teamers and your reserves, and the people that was your special teamers and your reserves will be on your practice squad. And that's what you want, is to start making tough decisions, putting decent players on practice squad and taking the risk of them getting signed because you have enough talent that you have actual depth. What do I think about the O-line? I think the O-line is fine. Seeing is what they did down the stretch in the season. Like, Dan Moore, we stuck with him. Skoronski is one of the best guards in the league. They didn't want to pay $30 million a year to Linderbaum, so they got Cordell Volson and Schlottman today. I still think they need to bring back Levin, and then you got Jackson Slater and Dellinger. You really got a six-man rotation on interior line that you'll have Schlottman, Slater, and if you bring back Levin, you have three people that can play guard center. You still can go in the draft and get Indiana's center in the draft if you so choose to do so. Then you got they should bring back Oli Udall and Crenshaw Dixon, young cheap players, rotational guys, and then work on some project guys that'll be able to in the future move into the role to play those that left tackle position for Dan Moore when he's out. That's what I kind of seen from the O-line, is like depth by committee. I don't want to see Warner grow. This is why you can't be a GM. Yeah, you can't hold on to stuff when you know you can get good value. I think Brazel's trace. I seen him run some nasty curl routes at 6'5". Brazel reminds me of George Pickens with his twitchiness at his height and speed. They don't like Snead more than Sweat, but if Snead can pass his physical, they can't just cut him. He gets guaranteed money from through his contract. So if he passes his physical, then he's still gonna get paid. I would keep if he takes a $10 million pay cut, that's a good price to prove yourself. I mean, he's getting $28 million this year. If you think about Red, if you Calvin Ridley, why would you take the pay cut though? You're probably not gonna get another contract like this. If I'm Calvin Ridley, I wait it out. If they cut Calvin Ridley, the money you talking about in the pay cut, he gonna get it anyways, and they're gonna cut him, and then some other team is gonna pay him, a journeyman's fee to come in and play. He don't really got nothing to prove at this point. Yes, I'm saying, Justin, like, people dogged out Willis, and then Willis got with LaFleur, and then LaFleur had Malik Willis looking like a starting quarterback. I'm a firm believer that talented quarterbacks in the NFL, coaching is the most important thing in making sure that they in the right situation. Look at Drake May year 1 to year 2. Look at Caleb Williams year 1 to year 2. Look at Geno Smith and Sam Darnold when they got off the Jets. Look at Mac Jones when he got out of his situation and got to San Francisco. Like, Sam Darnold left the Vikings and went to the Seahawks and balled. Geno balled on the Vikings and went to the Raiders and led the league in turnovers. Like, it's all to do about coaching and who's in your ear and what kind of scheme they putting out there for you. Nah, we not giving you pick 4 for Fred. Titans ain't in a position to give up multiple first round picks for nothing. Why would we give you the 4th pick? We just pick Sonny Styles if we wanted a linebacker. Becker said I wouldn't be lucky enough to even get Levis. I thought you was trolling me, bro, when you texted me saying that Gardner Minshew and Brissett was going to fight it out for a starting quarterback job on the Cardinals, and then I seen it, and I was like, I felt bad for you, bro. I ain't going to lie. I think Malik Willis in the Dolphins scheme with Devin Achane and Ollie Gordon, if they run heavy and play action, like, he'll be fine. But they got to get the defense right. Trading Minka Fitzpatrick for a 7th-round draft pick is too critical. Yeah, they hired Joe Flacco. El Marco, did you really mean you actually got shot? I seen your status or something about getting shot. Like, you really got shot, bro? Can 2/5 get you back in the top 100? I say a 4th and a 5th could, if you're doing some kind of pick swap. I don't know about 2/5. No more Walmart players. Yeah, no more Walmart players. Coaching and situation for sure matters, Justin. Talent plus mentality. So would you take Bain or Love? I'm taking Jeremiah Love. I'm taking Jeremiah Love. Put it like this, and I'll show you. I'll show you visually. You can put Tony Pollard with DK Robinson, A.O. Monter, Hellman Bellinger with Tajay and Khalil Mullins, Cam Ward. You can run that offense out there with whatever you draft. Or you could cut Tony Pollard, save $7 million, and get Jeremiah Love with DK, Wandale, A.O. Monter, Hellman Bellinger. It sounds completely different and more explosive, right? Now, you got Jermaine Johnson and Femi with John Franklin Myers and Jeff Simmons. Now, if you put Ruben Bain on the line with John Franklin Myers, Jeff Simmons, and Jermaine Johnson and Femi just continually rotating, that could be absolutely devastating. That could be crazy. So I'm a defensive-minded player first. I wouldn't be mad if they... Like, I'm not going to throw a hissy fit if they take Bain. If they take Bain, I completely understand it. Or if they took Arvell Reese right here, I completely understand it. But I think Robert Saleh's going to run a wave of players. Would you want Jeremiah Love and miss out on Bain and Reese and then get like a TJ Parker or a Zion Young or a Danny Dennis Sutton and then get another veteran like bring Jahad Ward back? Or, you know, you want Bain on that defense and we're gonna roll out there with Pollard again. I'm not gonna be mad either way. James Jackson, Trey Lance and Richardson fumbled their chance. Man, Trey Lance had the world in front of him and couldn't do nothing. Man, we talking about 3 years ago, Stevie B. I mean, yeah, Billy James, Michael Penix, and Tua Tagovailoa sounds like blue tint. Eat $99 million is record breaking. That ain't funny, Joe Blacko. I'm dead serious. Like, if El Marco really got shot, like, definitely praying for him. I hope he didn't actually get shot. I hope he's talking about something else. Driller, what's good, my boy? I've never seen a fan base this heated. 4 free agency periods have been straight hot garbage every single year. Like, y'all big splash was Gardner Minshew today. Like, he said love and get a DN in the second round. I say take Jeremiah Love and then go receiver or cornerback second. I wouldn't be mad if they did what they did last year. Let's say they take Love at 4 and they trade out at 35 and they get 2 picks in the and they get 2 more picks like they did with Winston and Femi. So let's say you drop back to like pick 50 and then you pick 66 and 75, then 101. If you got 5 swings in the top 100 and you pick Love first and you got 4 more picks, Best player available, cornerback, wide receiver, edge, linebacker, or safety. Or you can draft your center from Indiana. Take your pick. And if you trade Will Levis on day 3, you're gonna be picking twice every round in day 3. So I'm with you, Ocho, man. We could have seen all in on Kevin Winston. No, Kenneth Walker enforced the Chiefs' hands for that trade. But I don't think the Titans was going to spend $15 million on a running back. Like, it took them to the midnight hour to get $12 million for Derrick Henry. I don't see Kenneth Walker getting more money than Derrick Henry. Yeah, Hap, we definitely went crazy today, bro. When he started going in the cornerback room, I lost my mind. I told y'all on stream, I'm an honest person, bro. I don't lie. I picked Josh Williams. I said some of the players I thought we would get. I knew we was gonna get Franklin Myers, but when I seen Alontae Taylor come, I was like, oh my God, bro. I just didn't think we were gonna get Alontae Taylor. Then when they got Flott, it was a lot of Giant fans in the chat, and the Giant fans was actually upset that they lost Flott. So I was like, 6'2" nickel corner. I'm not mad. Now I see why they didn't want to give Baker Jr. $3.5 million, because they got Josh Williams, who I predicted that they was gonna get on my prediction, and now they got a chance to, if nobody tendered Baker Jr. at $3.5 million, we can bring Baker Jr. back for a $1.6 million and have Alontae Taylor, Cordell Flott, Josh Williams, Baker Jr., Marcus Harris, and L'Jarius Sneed until we decide to do something different with Sneed, and then go to the draft. So in the draft, now they can say, I want Keontae Scott or Dalen Everett or Will Lee or Chris Johnson from San Diego State. Like, they can get a real goon at corner. Yeah, I got him on the board, stat man. I got Volson right here. With them 2 pickups we got today, and factoring Pickens' contract, what moves can the Cowboys still make? Did y'all get a safety too? Hap, y'all really don't need to make no more moves. If I was y'all, I was sitting y'all money. You got pick 12 and 20. Hap, who do you want? If you're gonna get to pick 2 times in within 8 picks in the first round. Like, whatever, like if it was linebacker, why would you sign a linebacker if Sonny Styles fall to y'all at 12? You know what I'm saying? Like, Malachi Starks was a late first round pick. What if Caleb Downs fall down far enough that y'all could pick him at 12? You know what I'm saying? Like, Cowboys gonna be in a good position with 2 first round picks. Y'all don't have to really go crazy in free agency. And y'all already restructured all them contracts before free agency period hit, which was very smart. I gave the Cowboys their props this year. Like, they actually made some smart moves. San Francisco get Mike Evans. The Rams get McDuffie and Watson. Seattle is the defending champs. And Rashid Shaheed re-signed with the Seahawks. And Josh Jobe did too. I ain't mean to add it to your misery, Becker. Bro said Uncle Rico. Yeah, I mean, Jeremiah Love makes the Titans offense explosive. He's the Jahmyr Gibbs. He's the CMC. Steelers getting Rico Dowdle was huge tonight too. That's what I'm saying, James. Like, if you go 5 wide and Jeremiah Love motion out the backfield, it ain't like Tony Pollard motion out the backfield. You know what I'm saying? Like, a linebacker that's spying Cam Ward, if Jeremiah Love is in the backfield and you got Gunnar Helm and Wandale going in motion with AO and DK outside, like, get Jeremiah Love matched up one-on-one with a linebacker trying to guard him on an angle route or wheel route. You know what I'm saying? Like, You just got to get him the ball 18 to 20 times between running and passing, and he could do some real damage. Then you got your short yardage back in Khalil Mullins, and then you still got Tajay as a spell back that's more explosive than Pollard. But I'm still saying, if they love RVL Reese or Ruben Bain and they there for, and they take one of those two guys, put in Ruben Bain next to Franklin Myers, Big Jeff, Jermaine Johnson, and Femi would be absolutely nuts too. So actually having some decent players in the secondary mixed with that type of pass rush, like I wouldn't be mad if they did go edge in the draft at 4. I'm not gonna be mad, but I would like to see Jeremiah Love eating good. Mike Evans, like Hendricks, Mike Evans and George Kittle and CMC in the red zone is like, y'all kind of cheating a little bit. What is Cincinnati doing? They trying to get some defensive players, but I don't know if they're gonna have enough bread to get everything they need. He said Ravens then lost everything today. Raiders came up today. Isaiah Likely to the Giants. Linderbaum to the Raiders. Ravens having a mass exodus. What's the tape on Williams? He was the starter before Jalen Watson and McDuffie. 6'3", 200 pounds. Zone corner on the outside with range. It's not much to know in the tape. Just think how many cornerbacks will have lost their job to McDuffie and Jalen Watson. Revenge match? Nah, no revenge. Yeah, Jalen Thompson. Y'all brought Sam Williams back. But Cowboys picking 2 times and you on DB and edge. Yeah, I mean, Cowboys picking at 12 and 20. They in a good position. Yeah, I seen they got Jalen Thompson off y'all team. Becker. How does Will Levis for Marvin Harrison Jr. sound right now? Oh yeah, they yeah, Jamel Dean was a huge signing for the Steelers, and then Quay Walker went to the Raiders. Colton Hood at corner, but he gonna be gone. Definitely not taking him in for. Oh, for sure, nah. T-Town Brown said after these moves at cornerback. But I mean, think about the guys I've been telling y'all I want. Keontae Scott or Dalen Everett. Those are 2 cornerbacks I've been screaming about for the longest. Or if Will Lee fall down into the 3rd. Titans got 4 top 100 picks. 4, 35, 66, and 101. And if they trade back, if they get something good for Levis, they could get another top 100 pick, or they could trade back like they did last year and have 5 swings in the top 100. That would be kind of crazy. T-Town Brown. Swab was good. Eagles gave up on Job and Seahawks turned trash to Chester. Crazy, right? You think Love will be there if they trade down from 4? It depends on how far back. Now the Saints just got Travis Etienne, so you're not worried about the Saints drafting him. The Chiefs just spent the bag on Kenneth Walker. Does he get past the Commanders though? Oh no. Like, I don't know how far he would go. I don't know if the Commanders would pass on the chance at getting Jeremiah Love. I mess with Love, would just prefer a dominant D-line. But think about the Seahawks. Seahawks line was dominant last year with DeMarcus Lawrence, Big Cat, Boy Mafe. Like, them weren't no household names before the season. That just was a really good defensive line. The Patriots, Caleb Vaughn, Chase on. Like, they didn't, and Harold Landry, they didn't have like world beaters. They had really just a really good rotation. I think Milton Williams was the one they spent the money on. So I'm saying let's say the Titans added like a late round interior lineman like Tim Keenan, and then they got like Dennis Sutton at the top of day 3. With bringing back Jahar Ward, Truman Jones, Jalen Harrell, and Ali Gay. There's still going to be a crazy rotation. Because you got to remember, third down, Big Jeff and Franklin Myers lines up inside. Jermaine Johnson and Femi standing up on the edge. Alontae Taylor walks close to the line of scrimmage in the nickel on third down. Kevin Winston walked down in the box. Teams might be confused, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like, can't just think of. That's what the Giants did last. Giants had Dexter Lawrence, Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and Guy Abdul-Carter, and it wasn't like they had the world beater line. You know what I'm saying? Really talent on paper, but still wasn't a world beater line. So Titans just got to get a rotation of good players. Spears on his last year. It's too late to try to convert him to wide receiver. He just need to play his spell role well in his last year. What it do, player? B. Walker? I need to see Arizona trade Jacoby to the Jets and trade us for Levis, Badgett, anyone at quarterback. My boy getting desperate. New head coach hopefully got a plan for sure. Yeah, Mike Evans went to the 49ers. Would I take a chance on Dre Greenlaw? Depending on the price tag. But it's got to be a reason the Broncos cut him right. At this point, they need to trade Marvin Harrison Jr. for a first now while he still has any value. If he has a third subpar season, all his value will be gone and he'll be on a new team balling out. That's what I'm saying. Like, go ahead and give us Marvin Harrison Jr. for Will Levis. We'll throw in a day 3 pick with it. Because Brian Thomas Jr. probably finna get traded from the Jags for the George Pickens package, a second or third round pick. Yeah, Bengals did get Brian Cook and Boy Mafe. Marvin Harrison Jr. for Levis. Cards hurting that bad to offer Harrison. Malachi Fields might be dropping after that 40. Malachi Fields dropped some passes too. You know, I think I like Malachi Fields, but I mean Ted Hurst, Jacoby Lane, Chris Brazel, Surratt, Jeremy Bernard. It's gonna be a lot of receivers. Nick Harbor, you know what I'm saying, to where I wouldn't just be having tunnel vision on Malachi Fields. Because he did run a good 40 and then he dropped a lot of passes in his combine. T-Town Brown. The Cardinals have reported, and I repeat, full screen. Cardinals have reported that Jacoby Brissett is quarterback 1 and Gardner Minshew is quarterback 2. They said that's their and on Twitter they're saying that that's their quarterback competition. If I'm a Cardinal fan, I would love to have Will Levis be in that competition mix. You know what I'm saying? It's some teams down bad, bro. It's some teams down bad. And looking at the Titans roster as it sit, if they wanted to go after Trey Hendrickson, all they need to do is cut Snead, Ridley, and Pollard. Because if you get Trey Hendrickson, you're not thinking about edge FO. But And the worst part of all of this is Clueless front office and owner actually think these moves are made by moves that will help them win games. Get out of our way and let us trade Mac Jones to the Jets for their first package. They didn't get size and trade Warner for Jettis. Wow, you cheating. Oh, for sure, Tone. Tone, you like the new look, man. The new look. I'm feeling the new look, man. I got to do another one of those mailbags. I'll probably drop a picture tomorrow and let y'all throw some mailbag questions in there, and then I'll show y'all some behind the scenes of some of the stuff I've been doing. If y'all haven't seen it, the last one I did was for my birthday. You can go back and check the birthday behind the scenes. Yeah, I mean, I think Trey Henderson is holding out for top dollar. But I mean, you seen Adafio Way get 4-year, $100 million. Like, Adafio Way ain't never had 17 and a half sacks. So if I'm Trey Henderson is probably trying to get the real bag. Backup O-line deserves a chance. Yeah, I just showed him. They just signed Cordell Volson. They just signed Austin Slotman. We drafted Jackson Slater last year, and they got Garrett Dellinger one more year on his contract. Crenshaw Dixon he doesn't have a card, but he's the left tackle swing, and then they should bring back Ola Udo, the right tackle swing. So I mean, that Crenshaw Dixon, Volson, Slotman, if they bring back Levin, Slater, Dellinger, like those are all young guys they got that's getting a shot to compete. From what Paul Kaharski said, like that Slotman and Volson would be competing for interior lineman jobs at center and right guard. So maybe that's the ticket is, the Jaguars got lucky last year with that, letting people compete for the left tackle. Then they wind up getting a guy to solidify left tackle. What he got, like 3 years, $50 million, way cheaper than Dan Moore or Lloyd Cushenberry. Sleek and demure. You crazy as hell, bro. Titans definitely cooked, Doc Proc. Trey Henderson looking for that Jalen Phillips 4-year, $120 million. Yeah, I think he's looking for something crazy. He's 31. He probably wants the deal to take him till he's 35. You see Myles Garrett get $40 million a year. You see what Micah Parsons got. Yeah, back-to-back 17.5 sack seasons the last 2 full seasons he played. I'm pretty sure Trey Henderson would want somebody's left leg to get signed. All right, y'all. So drop them crystal balls in the chat. I attempted to do this the other day, but I just said it was too difficult and the free agency started. So let's see. Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders. Arvell Reese to the Jets. Cardinals take Carnell Tate. What are the trade offers? Buccaneers want to give us a first, a second, and a third next year, which we'll be dropping 11 picks back to number 15. But then we pick at 35, 46, 66, and 101. Then you have a second and a third for next year if you took the Buccaneers trade package, or the Raiders with 2 first-round draft picks is trying to pick at 1 and 4. The Raiders would be giving up. We go back 10 spots to number 14, but then we pick at 35, 36, 66, 67, 101, and 124. I'm going to be honest. If I'm being true to myself, it would be very hard to turn down this Raiders trade package. But Slotman played with Dabo last year at center, and he started a few games, so I assume he's not guaranteed no starting role. But if you put Corey Levin with him, I would feel comfortable saying that we have somebody that could be serviceable at center and still draft somebody. Or if they still believe Jackson Slater can play play center. Titans took a lot of giant guys. Yep. Titans got to draft Love. We've always had great running backs. Got to continue the legacy. I wonder if Mason Kinsey will make the team once again. Ocho, man, it's too early for that. Please don't put that type of mojo on us. But it would be hard to pass up this draft. Like, with what the Titans roster is, even with the help that we just added today, you can't tell me dropping 10 picks and picking at 14. If you're going to pick at 14, 35, 36, 66, 67, 101, and 124, you basically got 7 top 100 draft picks if you trade back. But then Bergonzi said if his guy is there at 4, then he's going to draft his guy. I think if you got this scenario, even with how sweet that trade package is, you got your guy. If Ruben Bain is your guy and Jeremiah Love is your guy, you get to pick whether you want a monster on defense or a monster on offense. Washington Jr. in the 3rd or 4th. Y'all still might. He said, Amy said no draft love. I'm going to drop the crystal ball in a second, but to take this virtual cough drop, golly, man, don't do me like that. I think Bergonzi would take a deal for the number 4 pick if it was the right one. I mean, that Raiders trade package is odes of the Texans when they took C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson. It'd be hard for me to pass up being able to pick 7 times in the top 100. But then again, when you got a chance to get a true best player in the draft and you got a chance to get a blue chipper, if you got a chance to get a blue chipper, sometimes you just got to take the blue chipper. Me personally, I'm going to stick to my guns and just have some fun with it and say, let's take Jeremiah Love at 4. Then we'll go back. We'll see who took what. Jordan Tyson to the Giants. Caleb Lomu to the Browns. Ruben Bain to the Commanders. So Ruben Bain and Adafio Way. Maui Noah to the Saints. David Bailey to the Chiefs. Mansour Delane to the Bengals. Keldrick Falk to the Dolphins. Sonny Styles to Dallas. Kenyon Sadiq to the Chiefs. Caleb Downs to the Raiders. Monroe Freeland to the Bucks. Makai Lemon to the Jets. Dylan Thieneman to the Lions. Jamal McCoy to the Vikings. Ola Lone, Penn State. Best guard in the draft to the Panthers. Spencer Fano to the Rams. Caden Proctor, tackle to the Steelers. K. McDonald, D tackle to the Chargers to play next to Khalil Mack. Peter Woods, D tackle Clemson. Do they trade Jalen Carter if they took Peter Woods at D tackle? Ty Simpson to the Browns. Didn't see that coming. Mesidor to the Bears. Omar Cooper Jr., receiver to the Bills. Casey Concepcion on the 49ers with Mike Evans and Ricky Pearsall. TJ Parker, edge Texans. They are loaded. Colton Hood, cornerback to the Cowboys. Cowboys would love if they got to pick Cowboy fans. Y'all got Sonny Styles and Colton Hood. I know y'all be doing a backflip. Brandon Cisse to the Broncos. Avion Terrell to the Pats. Linebacker CJ Allen to the Seahawks. Chase Basantis, an offensive guard I really like, to the Jets. And then offensive tackle from Clemson, Blake Miller to the Cardinals. Omar Cooper will definitely be there in the second. Who would I pick if I trade back to 14? Looking at this draft board, if we was picking here at 14, Kenyon Sadiq, no, Caleb Downs, just thinking about what the Titans have now on their roster, I feel like you gotta take best. I don't know, man. Caleb Downs would be best player available, but like it'd be tough because it would look different if depending on who we traded with. We just lost our wide receiver to y'all today. Talking about one day. If the Browns take another quarterback, that would be hilarious. It really would be, Ocho, man. You'd do a somersault, Jeff. I know you would. Giants might not get Styles anymore. No, we wouldn't take Sadiq because we just got Bellinger and you got Gunnar Hill. I mean, how many tight ends you gonna put out there? Just got him from the Bears. Talking about Keldrick Falk. All right, so Titans would be sitting here at 35, right? Titans is sitting here at 35. If they're thinking wide receiver, you got Chris Bell, Denzel Boston, Chris Brazel, Jeremy Bernard. Bro, just those 4 names alone, I couldn't go wrong if I pick any 4 of those receivers. Who do I think is the most explosive? Brazel. Who I think is the best football player? Jeremy Bernard. Big physical catch target? Denzel Boston. Chris Bell is more of like another A.J. Brown potentially. Who would they go wide receiver right there? Then if you want to flip over and say edge, Zion Young would be my pick if I wanted to go edge right here. Out of this group, Malachi Lawrence, Zion Young, Cassius Howell, R. Mason Thomas. If I wanted to go edge, I'd go Zion Young. Jacob Rodriguez, Anthony Hill Jr. would be there at linebacker. I don't think they go D'Angelo Pons now, but Chris Johnson out of San Diego State, Keontae Scott, Will Lee would be my picks at corner. You know, like, you just want to stay in the position of best player available. Last year in this spot, Titans traded out of 35. Seahawks got Nick Emenwari. We got Femi Oladejo and Kevin Winston because we didn't have a 3rd round pick because of the Snead trade. Let's look at the trade offers for pick 35. 35 and 101 for 56.81. So basically pick swaps and you get a 2nd next year. I don't think that's a very lucrative trade for us. Only way this trade makes sense is if you feel like the guy you want to pick at 35 is going to be there at 56. Because then you get to move up 20 spots from 101 to 81 and then you get a 2nd the next year. So if you feel like the guy that you want is going to be after 56 and the next guy, you get to move up and pick somebody a few spots earlier and you get a free draft pick. All right, Green Bay is offering 52, drop 17 spots, 201 in the 2nd next year. The sweeter deal would be Jacksonville's because he'd give you an extra 2nd round pick next year. So, like, the question here is, who's the best player available for what you need? Is it one of these 4 receivers? Is it Pons, Chris Johnson, or Keontae Scott? Or is it Zion Young, Cassius Howell, R. Mason Thomas, Malachi Lawrence? Oh, yeah, we stole flat. Where all these Giants fans come from, I don't know. Eskimo Brothers. Chris Brazel for sure. I never see them during the season in the chat. So I mean, I don't necessarily know who y'all would consider best player available at this spot would be. Because these are all subjective. You like Chris Bell, but Chris Bell's coming off an injury. I like Brazel and Bernard, Denzel Boston better than Chris Bell, personally. Only thing about it is, if you don't pick a wide receiver right here, you don't pick again until 101. So that means you're probably looking at one of these receivers in this next role, which is Kendrick Law, Malachi Fields, you definitely dropping down in tiers and receivers if you don't take a receiver here. Tennessee Giants. He's another AJ Brown type, but he's coming off an injury. I don't know if this regime would take a chance drafting somebody with injury already. If you pass on edge, you're looking at Derek Moore, Dennis Sutton. You're looking at this group to fall. And linebacker, I think it's more depth at linebacker, edge, and cornerback if you had to pick later. Allen is not on the Brandon Allen was not on the under contract. Will Levis was going to be traded. On the first early signings, I already got a YouTube video up, Robert. I loved everything we did. This is for the second and in the mock draft. If we draft Jeremiah Love first, we cut in Pollard and saving $7 million. We're gonna put $7 million back in our pocket if we cut Pollard and draft Love. Oh yeah, I would take Love in a heartbeat. Gibbs 2.0. All right, I'm gonna go with my gut, and I'm gonna double down on offense. I'm between Chris Brazel and Jeremy Bernard. Said Chiefs look like they still got a lot of work to do. You talking about John Franklin Myers? He said defense gonna be back up there again. Yep, Taekwon going back. It would be interesting to see what the Titans brass would want to pick. But then again, this is my mock draft. Do you want the JSN type in Jeremy Bernard, or do you want the dunker outside in Chris Brazil? I think Brazil might be special. But then Robert Saleh is a defensive coach. Does he take over and want to get Does he take over and want to go with a defensive player? Veer Tucker to the Pats. 40 was great for his size at 4'3". This is such a big pick of whoever the Titans decide to pick at in the second round. All right. We rolling the dice. I'm going with the chat. We taking Brazil in the second. Let's see what the rest of the draft. Let's see what the rest of the draft shot out for us. After we took Brazil, Lee Hunter to the Rams. Oh my God. Chris Bell to the Bengals. D'Angelo Pons to the Saints. I can see that. Zion Young to the Jets. Cassius Howell to the Colts. Bernard to the Vikings. Chris Johnson to the Lions. They need that. Keith Abney to the Dolphins. Emmanuel Pregnon, one of my favorite guards in the draft, going to the Steelers. Jennings Dunker going to the Jags. R. Mason Thomas to the Chargers. Jacob Rodriguez to the Ravens. Denzel Boston. Broncos. Anthony Hill Jr. to the Bears. Seahawks pick up running back from Nebraska, Emmett Johnson. All right, Titans are here at 66. Now, this is all but to say, you definitely looking defense. When you picking in a third, let's look at the trade offers. Nothing much. I'm not gonna lie. I like Keontae Scott. I'm sorry. I gotta take Keontae Scott. Now we pick 101. Let's see what we missed. After Keontae Scott, Delp to the Raiders, Tad Hurst to the Saints, Will Lee to the Packers, Kamari Ramsey to the Eagles, Mike Washington to the Rams, Jacoby Lane to the Patriots, nasty. Parker Brailsford to the Colts. Igbinosun to the Panthers, nasty. Connor Lew to the Ravens after losing Linderbaum. Takario Davis to the Jags. Jonah Coleman. Surratt to the Falcons. That's a good fit. Zachariah Branch on the Steelers with Michael Pittman Jr. and DK Metcalf. Eli Stowers paired with Aronde Gasson. Ooh, Darian Price to the Jags with Basil Tootin, Deontay Lawson, LT Overton, Malik Muhammad to the Rams, Eli Raridan to the Broncos. All right. Round 4, Tennessee Titans cooked last year. Tennessee Titans cooked round 4 last year with DK, Helm, and A.O. Munner. All right. This is definitely where my edge right here. An edge I really like. I'm telling y'all, I really like this kid. Danny Dennis Sutton. Go watch his tape. I'm definitely taking him right there to start the 4th round. 6'6", 260. Got a nice motor. All right, let's see if any of more of my players came off the board. Derek Moore, Michigan to New York. Devin Moore, cornerback for the Jets to Florida. Nice pickup for the Jets. Malachi Fields to the Niners. Ooh. Harold Perkins to the Chargers. Zakee Wheatley is one of my sleepers to the Broncos. Michael Taft to the Saints. I can see that. Joe Royer, a sleeper tight end to the Eagles. All right, we in round 5. All right, we still picking best player available. I want to go see what safeties are on the board. Cody Barton's brother. Currently pick at 142 and 144. So you get back-to-back picks here. You're still thinking about best overall. Yeah, I looked at the compensatory picks. We didn't get any, so I quickly moved off of that. All right, let's see. All right, right here. We're going to stick to my own personal board. We're going to pick up Dalen Everett. And then we're going to turn around. And add Tim Keenan. right, so we went defense for the next 4 picks. Keontae Scott, Dennis Sutton, Dalen Everett, Tim Keenan. Now, we're picking at 184. I want Indiana center, Pat Coogan. We're picking at 194. I've been saying Cardinals all along, she. Okay, best players available. You got Cuevas, tight end from Alabama. Oh, here we are. I'm still picking best available. Marlon Klein, tight end, Michigan. We got one more pick, Mr. Irrelevant. Last pick in my draft. Jam Miller ran pretty good in his pro day. Do you want to take a shot at another receiver? Got Barry and Brown out there. Speed Demon. You could take a shot at DJ Campbell at offensive guard. Special teams. Is there a kicker out here? Did anybody take a kicker in this draft? Let me see. I don't know if anybody took a kicker. Yeah, Raiders did their thing. He said get a lineman, offense or defense. I know who I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get another safety. I'm gonna take Xavier Nwankpa, 6'2", 210. Dude got some really good speed. Or I could take Sonny Styles' brother, Lorenzo Styles. Let's take Lorenzo Styles. I'm gonna take a super fast safety as my last pick. I'm gonna take a super fast safety as my last pick. Here's our draft pick. Here's our board. Jeremiah Love, Chris Brazel, Keontae Scott, Danny Dennis Sutton, Dalen Everett, Tim Keenan, Pat Coogan, Marlon Klein, and Lorenzo Styles Jr. I just picked 9 good players. This to me is what best available look like. Tim Keenan would be playing behind John Franklin Myers, Jeff Simmons, CJ Ravenel, James Lynch. He'd be in that role. Dalen Everett and Keontae Scott in the room with Alontae Taylor, Flott, Josh Williams, Marcus Harris. That's depth. Dennis Sutton in the rotation behind Femi and Jermaine Johnson. Lorenzo Styles playing behind Monty. Marlon Klein. We don't run fullbacks, so having Gunnar Helm, Bellinger, David Martin Robinson, and Marlon Klein. Pat Coogan at center. It's just going to be the center that you groom to be the center in the future. And you got Jeremiah Love and Chris Brazel at the top. Now I'm going to download that. Now just imagine if you was to have that draft, Coogan would be right here. Crenshaw Dixon, and then Crenshaw Dixon, and then you bring Udo right here. Crenshaw Dixon, Coogan, Udo. Right? Marlon Klein would be right here between David Martin Robinson and fullback. You cut Tony Pollard. You save $7 million. You have Jeremiah Love. You cut Ridley. And if it was me, Chris Brazel would be outside with Wandale and DK. A.O. Mana and Restrepo would be rotational guys. Then on defense, you have Lorenzo Styles. You cut Snead, put that money back in your pocket. You have Keontae Scott and Dalen Everett, Marcus Harris, Cordell Flott, and Josh Williams. You had 6 really good corners. You put Tim Keenan behind Franklin Myers or Jeffrey Simmons, and then have Ravenel back here. Dennis Sutton would push out Truman Jones to be right here with Jalen Harrell and Dennis Sutton. Truman Jones and Ali Gay would go to practice squad. That would be a pretty solid draft. And then you got to think, if the Titans cut Snead, Pollard, and Ridley, they add another 25, 30 million back to a team that would have Brazel, DK, Wandale Robinson, A.O. Mana, and Restrepo. You still have the money to be free, that if you want to go after and sign, say, a Trey Hendrickson, you could have Dennis Sutton behind Jermaine Johnson, Femi playing behind Trey Hendrickson, Franklin Myers, Jeff Simmons, Tim Keenan, and CJ Ravenel. Like, you'd be very, 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 very deep with my mock draft. And I'm gonna put that out tomorrow. I'll put that as a piece of content tomorrow for people to argue with or do whatever they want. And I'll actually put those cards inside of how this board is set up. And then, like, the total 53-man roster will look better. And then you're right, we have the money to go out and take the best kicker punter combo on the board that we want to bring back. Whether they wanted to bring back Joey Slye and replace Johnny Hecker or replace both of them, you know. And then if they did that, the Titans would still have money free if they wanted to move Cody Barton and try something different at linebacker. But I got a feeling that converted safety, 6'4", 230-pound James Williams might be fighting Cody Barton for that middle backer spot. So imagine it like this. What if James Williams fought for that spot and it was James Williams, Cedric Gray, and Cody Barton was in a reserve role or got traded? Interesting. It's still a lot of free agents that's still left on the board. Where is Woolen going? That's a good question. Maybe the Eagles. But I love everything the Tennessee Titans did in free agency today, and we still have tomorrow. So this gonna conclude the Shop Talk portion in part 2. This gonna go up at 7 a.m. As well as some other content surrounding free agency. I'm finna move over into my Fallout. So y'all give me like a minute to reset, and then we finna get on some Fallout and continue the conversation about free agency.
That subscribe, like, comment, share. Tap into the daily uploads at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you missed the live streams, you got picture in picture. And if I don't get to any questions during the live streams or the pods, drop them in the comments. I'll make it part of the weekly mailbag. You following on the blue, smash those reactions. I know you're OG. Hit that like, comment, share, tap into the daily content that is the shop. If you're new to the shop, you definitely should be tapped in on the green. No ads, up to 50 emotes free for just being a follower. You do not have to be a supporter to unlock picture in picture, late night streams. Follow us on Kick. We also live on Twitch. Look out for the drops, as well as if you have Amazon Prime, it's free $99 to sub to the channel once a month. Don't let Jeff Bezos stick that money back in his pocket. If you don't use it on the shop, use it on another content creator that you like. I still call it Twitter, but follow us on X. We tweet back. If you missed the daily shop talks, make sure you tap in for the late night cap on the purple and the green. The Discord is always open. Outside of subs, donos, and cash apps, there's also another way to support the content. That's by grabbing a trucker hat, a bandana, hoodies, the classic barbershop, Vibe Nation, right out of the official merch store on Tactic, formerly known as Geeks Unleashed. Code Buddha at checkout to get a discount.